Welcome back. So today we'll be going through the things that I carry in my car throughout the winter. Make sure that we're always able to either be recovered or help the recovery process. So what we do is usually in the winter time, every year I'll set up this box. In that box I'll carry various items in which, like I say, will help recovery of either my vehicle or somebody else's. Um, how you want to load this box is everything at the bottom is the things that you might not need straight away, and keep things at the top that you really might need. And that we'll go through that process. So, thing that I will put at the very bottom, because you don't always need it, is the recovery rope. Not everybody's going to have a recovery rope. Not everybody needs a recovery rope, but these are acts as a bungee, so they've got some stretch in them, so you can actually pull people out, and that helps with the recovery. This one's from Winchmax. I believe this is the 14,000 kilos. Don't quote me on that of strength, but that's what we put in the car. If you do have one of those, then I would recommend getting the soft shackles that go with them. They just make your job a lot easier. Put those there. If you don't have a recovery rope, I would recommend just getting a tow rope. This one's obviously elasticated as well. This is a 3-ton tow rope. I wouldn't recommend getting anything less than 3 ton, because you're going to be putting that under a lot of stress if you're being pulled out. Your car might weigh only 1.5 tons, but you want to make sure you've got a bit more of a backup on you and something that's going to actually take it. The other things in this collection is a foldable shovel. Got this one from the ex-army surplus store. Lock that into place. Better than nothing. Better than using your hands. You can even put a bit more of an edge on that, and you can use it to chop, get branches out of the way. It's got like a serrated edge there should you need to attempt to saw or anything. But that folds down really nice and compact. And better than using your hands, getting your hands wet and cold. If you are in a pickle and you need a bit of traction and you've dug your way out and you just can't, your tyres still going, we carry these. I think these were designed to be in the sand, in the desert, but you throw those under the car wheels, one each. I'd recommend putting them under the front wheels, a bit more weight. And that should give you the traction that you need to get going, to get out of that tricky spot. The other things that you may need, I'd say a jack. Most cars do have a jack in them, although more modern cars now have stopped putting them in, stopped putting in spare tyres altogether. So without that in there, if you need that to just get the car up, you got something stuck on your axle, stuck in the wheel, you just need to get that car up, I would highly recommend getting a bottle jack. These give you the advantage of being able to add that additional height on there to get you up. I wouldn't go anything below 3 or 4 ton on a jack. These are a bit more compact, a bit more heavier than a scissor jack, but definitely a lot better. Something a lot of people probably don't think about is dogs. The amount of times I've been going home of an evening and either the farmer's dog or somebody's dog's got out because they've just not looked after their garden or their fences or anything like that, and the dog goes out and it's running on the roads and nobody can do anything. So what we always carry is slip lead, put over the animal's head. You've got control over it straight away. Should it be friendly? Obviously, try and make sure it is first. But a dog lead always will come in useful, and the amount of times I've had to use it, unbelievable, to be fair. So the other things we want to be looking at is safety. That's safety for yourself, it's safety for anybody else driving down that road. they need to be given a warning. I know some cars come with a little reflective triangle. They're not really great. So what we do is we carry these. Come with a pack of 3. So you press them. You can place them on the road. You can hook them on the car should you need to, or on a branch or a signpost. In fact, if there's a signpost, they're magnetic. They come in packs of 3. They're actually really useful. I've never had to use them yet, but it's always better to have them and not need them, and need them and not have them. And they come with different flashes depending on what your personal preference is. And then at the very end, let's see if we can get there, comes with a little light. Other times you might get stuck in mud or snow, or you just want to make sure that you don't get stuck in those situations, and you might just want to let air out your tyre. Doing that obviously gives you a flatter surface, giving you more traction. But at some point you're going to want to put air back into your tyre. Now you can obviously go to your local garage and use their compressor, or in an emergency, you can't travel to a garage for whatever reason, get one of these. This is a little air compressor. We carry both the 12-volt adapter, so you don't always need to carry the battery, or you can put the battery in and you can change it into, I don't know if you can see that, PSI. You can change it to pounds per square inch, and bar. But that will get you out of predicament, put some air back into your tyres, and obviously should that fail, in fact, this is the Draper one. Draper, don't even know what serial number it is, it's come off. But again, this one comes with a torch and a light, should you need to be warning people where you are. But like I say, battery's fantastic if you just need to get one tyre up. If you've let air out of all your tyres, you want to put the adapter in, plug into your 12 volt. Other things you might want to consider carrying in the car: bungee cables. I'll carry one of each length here. If something's fallen, if something's fallen, needs proper backup, hoses, radiators, anything like that, you can just find somewhere to hook on underneath, under the car, get that out safely, out of the way safely. The other thing I recommend carrying is a strap of some sort. We carry just the one strap because we've got the bungee cords. Obviously, got a few more things to hold there. So a strap, very lightweight, very versatile. Do several different things with that. Spare bulbs. We carry spare bulbs just so if yourself ever goes out, at least you've got something you can do a backup on. The main thing we carry is this tool belt. In here, you'll carry several different tools. So what we have in this tool roll is essential basics. In here, and what I mean by essential basics is you can't carry around a 50p socket set of imperial and metric, depending on your car's age. But what we do have is some more versatile tools that will help us in any tricky predicament. So what we do have is a torch. So unlike the torches before, this is more of a work torch. It's got a magnetic bottom, so we can stick it onto the car's bodywork. It comes with either a forward facing or side light. It's also got a hook on the back. So if you need to hook it onto some bodywork, it will also go on there. Very versatile. This one's battery powered, so we also carry the batteries in here with it. It has 4 AAAs. Mole grips, always carry some mole grips. Like I say, you can't carry around 50-piece socket set, but the mole grips, I think they go up to around 15-18 mil socket size, so you'll be able to get onto most things that way. What else do we have? Adjustable spanner, that'll work alongside, so if you need to do a double twist, you can do that with this. It gives you a few more options, and they just work so well together in these tricky situations. We have a file. I think that's a 6-inch file. That'll work well if you need to get any metal off your bodywork, anything off the axles, anything underneath dragging, or if you've been locked into a car park. Eventually that will go through a padlock. One of each type of screwdriver, flathead and Phillips. The more common, we haven't gone for the big flatheads on the stubbies or the long, just middle of the range. I think they're called number 2s. Are they called that? Number 2. That they're in there, especially the flathead's very good for prying, getting into those nooks and crannies, leverage. The last tool we have in here isn't put in here for anything other than to get you out of a predicament. So we've got a very old knife. It's not designed to be in there for self-defense. It's not in there for attack or be aggressive. This is literally in there just to cut away any baling twine, any wire. That is just designed to make sure that you can get or cut any objects that are hindering you. The laws in the United Kingdom are very strict on the carry of knives, say it properly. I have checked with our local police, because it's not being carried on a person and it's locked away and it's for a purpose. Most police forces in the United Kingdom will see it as it's a tool. So if you're a farmer, it's a tool. It's in your pocket. It's out of the way. It's not there for your protection. They would rather it was a non-fixed blade, but that's what I've got in there. The other thing that we've got in here is a Swiss Army knife, pocket knife thing. This has got several different tools in there should you need them as well. Files, corkscrews, pry bars, everything else you might need. So one of those we very strongly recommended. And then, oh yeah, new addition this year is the Torx Allen keys. More and more cars seem to be using these now, so it'd be good to get a set of these. These go from T10 all the way to T50. I've not had to use anything bigger than a T50 yet, but that's always good to have in there. Small, very lightweight. And then right at the top of our pack, we're going to have de-icer and a scraper. They primarily used before you travel, but it's always good to have them in the vehicle with you should conditions change. The last things that we'll have, which we'll use before we even travel. So every winter, always replace your wiper blades. You don't want them failing. If you're anything like me and when you were a bit younger, you'd push them right to the limit, and then you'd always get caught out in a massive rainstorm or snowstorm, and you wouldn't be able to see diddly squat, which is then even more of a danger to yourself or others, which we're trying to prevent. So we always go for Bosch. You do you on what brand you want to use. but I cannot recommend enough just upgrading your wiper blades every year. For the other thing that we always get is this Rainix screen wash, effective down to -20. You know it's not going to go down to that, but especially in those thin little pipes that go from the tank to the rear washer, it's better than nothing. It's better than having expanding water in your pipes, splitting them and causing damage internally, and eventually having to pay out more money just to get the hoses fixed. So I'd recommend getting a proper winter screen wash as well. That's pretty much everything we've got this year. If there's anything you guys can think that I've missed out or could recommend, or things I can switch out, more than happy to hear it, especially in the comments. It'll be great to have some chat going down there. But if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.